these massive protests by students of Jawaharlal Nehru University who are clear they will not end their protests until the fee hike for accommodation at their institution is reversed completely.
Protesting JNU students lathi-charged a short distance from the PM's residence as they tried to march to Parliament. About 50 students, including the JNU Students' Union President Aishi Ghosh, were detained for some time.
मुझे सर पे मारा है, मैं JNU के पूर्व अध्यक्ष हूँ, पीटो, मारो, लात मारो, गुस्सा मारो, माँ बहन की गालियाँ दिया गया हम लोगों को.
Peacefully protesting, a male guard has hit me on the leg और वो हंस रहा था और मेरा आंसू निकला है तो बोला कि अच्छा है कि तुम रो रहे हो, तुम सुबह से प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हो ना, हम देख रहे हैं और अब देखते हैं तुम कैसे करते हो.
Students claim that the fee has been reduced only for below poverty line students and there are no concessions for non-BPL students who will spend almost 7,000 rupees each month on all hostel expenses as compared to about 2,500 rupees currently. Even for BPL students, the fee is too high. The parental income of a BPL student is 2,250 rupees per month, but with the hiked fee, he or she will be forced to shell out a total sum of 4,000 rupees. Earlier, the JNU VC M. Jagadish Kumar also issued an appeal to students asking them to discontinue the strike.
Last 2 weeks, the academic activities in the university have suffered greatly because some students are on strike. I would like to appeal to all of you to come back to the classes and resume your research activities.
The HRD ministry has formed a 3-member committee to restore peace and start a dialogue with students.
कई बड़े बड़े लोग वहाँ पे कई फील्ड में हमारा नेतृत्व दे रहा JNU या कुछ चीजें अगर हो रही, कुछ चेंजेस हो रहे तो उसमें से रास्ता निकल सकता है, लेकिन ये एक्सट्रीम स्टेप लेके हम नो रिटर्न पॉइंट पे अगर गए तो एक प्रेस्टिजियस इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए ये ठीक नहीं है.
But JNU Students' Union claimed their repeated demands for initiation of dialogue have been ignored.
We've been hoping for a dialogue for the past month. And even if you look at the VC that the Vice Chancellor released yesterday, it's nothing more than a thinly veiled threat.
The protest that started at 11 a.m. got over 7 hours later. The police also lathi-charged the students. Now, the JNU Students' Union members have been called for a meeting by the HRD Ministry's Secretary to resolve things once and for all. With camera person Xavier Thomas in New Delhi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
Well, the actress Swara Bhaskar joins us now. She's been a student of JNU. Thanks very much for being with us, and you've got very strong views on this. Swara, if this is about the finances and the costs incurred by students, particularly those who don't have a lot of resources to finances, there's been an offer by the administration that they'll cut down the increase by 50%. So students who want a single room now will end up paying 300 rupees instead of 600, and those who get a double room will end up paying 150 rupees per month instead of 300. So how would you respond to those who say that this is fairly reasonable, even for those who come from economically challenged backgrounds?
I would say though that those people are actually completely disconnected with the reality of BPL families in India, because the BPL category is one where the family income is or where the income is 2,250 rupees per month, and even with the proposed reduction of fees for BPL category students, they'll still be paying 4,000 rupees per month. So I don't understand that it's still not tenable. And I don't think, I think that this harping on 200 rupees and 300 rupees kind of misses the point, because the fee hike is not just on the single seater or the double seater room. There is a host of other charges that have been added, including service taxes and utility charges and the salary of the support staff and the mess staff. I mean, I think the question really is that why should education, quality higher education, be commoditized in this country, in a country like India, which is unequal still, structurally relatively poor still, a country where the constitution guarantees the right to education as one of our fundamental rights. The spirit of the constitution is one that should enable people to have access to education. I think the real question here is that why should quality higher education be unaffordable for families and for children who come from lower income and lower middle income groups. I mean, why should a country like India have a cost recovery model to education?
Right. So, Swara,
it's not a profitable business.
To a point that you mentioned, as far as utility charges, electricity and water, service charges, mess, sanitation, etc., those who come from economically disadvantaged families or backgrounds will have to pay only 50%. So that is another reduction. I mean, I'm just saying what
I just told you that it doesn't work. It still doesn't work. I just told you that that's not tenable, right? Because if you're earning 2,500 rupees a month, or you can't pay 4,000 rupees on one child's education.
Right, point taken.
It's 43% of JNU students stand to lose the possibility to have an education. If this fee hike comes into play, they will have to stop studying. And 55% of JNU students are girls.
I take that point you're making, that this is, the cost structure you believe is unviable. Be that as it may, is this for you more than just the cost factor? Are there other, is this an expression of anger or dissent by JNU students who feel that this is an effort by the government to sort of enforce a particular perspective or a particular will, and that it's more than just the money associated with with university fees? Is that what this is about, or is this only about?
I don't think so.
150 rupees and 300
No,
rupees.
I don't think we should look at it. I don't think that we should, this is a very convenient way to vilify the students of JNU. This is a very legitimate cause. It's something that affects all students who study in JNU. The ABVP is part of these protests. If this was purely coming out of an anti-government sentiment, the ABVP would not be participating in this protest. This is an issue that has unified students because this affects everyone. I mean, I think that we must recognize that we're talking about the future lives of these students. If they are not able to study, what will they do? So I think that actually the fee hike is very, very, and this attack on public education and public funding in higher education is actually hugely problematic. And I'm saying this as a taxpayer. I fall into a tax bracket where we pay the highest tax paying bracket in this country. If I'm paying taxes to the country, I want my taxes to be utilized for making education and health available to all strata of society.
So, Swara, I came across a statement which, in an article, I don't endorse it because I find it insensitive, but I'll ask you this once again because it's a view which has been reflected on Twitter as well, and I quote, "Most students could afford to pay much more and spend much more on autos, chola bhaturas and ice cream floats, and therefore this was referring to a situation a few years back at JNU, but I think the sentiment in this article was that, look, why are you complaining so much about these fees when you'd end up spending so much more having your normal life? How would one respond to that?
No, I think that it's absolutely a ridiculous and highly problematic argument. All right, I cannot comment on the personal habits of students and who's eating ice cream and who's eating or taking an auto. I think it's a very, very frivolous sort of argument. It's probably inaccurate because JNU is a residential campus. A lot of the students, they live on campus, they study on campus. Our whole lives actually revolve around campus when we are in JNU, and in any case that is not the point. The point is that why should, as I said again and again, why should higher education be commoditized? I have some figures from the CAG report of which was released in February 2019. 94,000 crores of the secondary and higher education cess and 7,200 crores of the research and development cess has not been utilized. All right, the JNU administration can spend lakhs of rupees on inviting Sadhguru and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and having all these really glamorous events on campus, but you want students to bear the brunt of and pay utility charges and so on. I mean, I think the real issue is that why should you run a publicly funded, centrally funded educational institution like it's a private business? for profit. That is not the aim of these institutions. The aim of these institutions is to make education, which is a right, available to one and all. And I think that that's a simple question. Everything else about, you know, anti-government, pro-government, it's just a way of vilifying the students and kind of taking the debate away from the very, very central point that the students are raising a very fundamental issue that is uniting them across ideology.
So let me
and by the way, it's not just JNU students who are protesting. Himachal Pradesh had universities where students were protesting against fee hikes there as well. I mean, these protests have been happening everywhere. I don't think we should just, I mean, JNU is in Delhi and it's right now, you know, it's a favorite for everyone to sort of hone in on and criticize. But I think that this issue actually affects everyone. It affects every future child who is born in India.
Okay, but Swara, let me edge in over here with my last question. The protests which we saw today, we saw school buses being trapped for 45 minutes, 50 minutes. We saw traffic in South Delhi being stopped. We saw students jumping over barricades. Yes, there were students who were hurt, well aware of that, have seen the video, played out that video also, I believe. But then the police say that, you know, what option do they have if things get out of hand? 3 metro stations or 4 metro stations didn't function. Does anything justify that? I mean, really, that's my question.
Well, I think that is a question that is better. I think that is a question that is better addressed to the JNU VC, Mr. Mamidala, who has been missing from campus for the last few weeks. Students have been trying to speak to him for the last few weeks. I think that, you know, we shouldn't look at today's protest in isolation. This is the build-up. Students have been protesting every single day in JNU, outside their hostels, outside the administration. No one's been listening to them. Then once they get out on the streets, and then you ghirao them, then you lathi charge them, you break their heads, and then the police, I mean, the Delhi police, come on. I think that it's laughable that the Delhi police says that they can't control the students. The students were having a peaceful protest. It's very clear from the videos and the footage that it was a peaceful protest, and I don't understand why the Delhi police felt the need to unleash this kind of completely not justified violence upon the students. And then, you know, like last week the Delhi police was complaining that they were at the receiving end of violence, some arbitrary mob violence. So I'm sure that they understand the problem with resort to random violence.
Swara, you made your point very effectively. You're welcome to stay on for the rest of the debate if you like, but I do need to open it up to my other panelists as well. We've got Geeta Bhatt with us in the studio. Ejaz Rathar, a student of JNU, got hurt in his hand and got hurt on his leg also because he faced a lathi today. Deshrata Nigam with us as well, and the Lok Sabha MP of the BSP, Mr. Danish Ali, who did bring up this issue in Parliament today. Mr. Danish Ali, do you believe that this is part of a larger issue where such a large percentage of students in this university, a world-class university, come from a poor background, and that for several decades this has been an institution which blends or brings together those who are poor, who are richer, who are who stem from all sorts of different parts of our country, and therefore this was a trigger because it actually affects the identity of this university. It's not 10 rupees and 150 rupees. That was a trigger which these students felt for changing the identity of their university. Go ahead, sir. Do we have him back? All right, apologies. Would you say that, would you like to take that question?
Yeah, definitely. See, one thing is clear in JNU, what is going on in JNU, we are resisting a kind of an attack that is going on currently in the public universities. You know, what is happening in JNU, in fact, from last 4 weeks, students are continuously protesting in JNU, in one side or in the other side, and continuously students are going, they are meeting to the wardens, they are continuously going and they are sending letters to the Vice Chancellor, please come to meet us, please come to have a dialogue with us. But this Vice Chancellor is good for nothing. Continuously from last 1 month, he has even not single-handedly given a 5-minute meeting to the JNU office bearers. Let us forget about the students and how this Vice Chancellor in JNU has done a kind of, it is an academic emergency there also. Even he
let me just get the other side in on this. Geeta, would you like to respond to this? These students feel that their needs have not been addressed.
Well, Vishnuji, first of all, student activism in any university, for any university culture is very important, because it gives space to people, to the students, to discuss and, to talk about politics, social issues and other things like that. But is it, I mean, what is important to be seen is that this kind of a space is to be misused, for many things, whether it is for, anti-national rants, or whether it is for, utilizing terrorists, or whether it is for celebrating of killing of our security personnel, or, whether it is for vandalizing the offices, for desecrating, idols of Swami Vivekananda, or whether it is, holding hostage of women wardens for more than 30 hours. And pulling off her clothes, I mean, these kind of things have been done. The rectors have been, they have been locked inside their houses, and they have been, in fact, they have been gherowed and pressurized that they have to, resign from their post or take back the manual. I mean, this kind of hooliganism or vandalism, is this what student activism is all about? Also, a lot of talk is whether no one is talking to the students, What is important here to also notice is that UNUSU, that actually does not have a locus standi at present. Why? Because, the elections which had taken place, it went to the High Court, and the High Court said that if you do not follow the Lindo Committee recommendations, and the results can only be declared.
Okay, so,
and they
but
did not
that's
follow
a larger
their,
point.
No,
But
I
you
mean, there
raised
are
the
many
point
issues.
about hooliganism.
You see,
respond to that. There was a vice president who was held up over there during a function for several hours. Geeta has raised several other examples.
the
as
women
well.
professors, they have been harassed and heckled like anything.
One thing is there, what justifies the vice chancellor of JNU to pass this kind of IHA, this kind of draconian IHA manual, even without having a student representatives there? I was the general secretary of the last time of the union. Even during at the same time, when the students are giving a mandate, more than 6,000 students are going and voting. What is more good for democracy in the end? It is the vote of the students, and that the vote students are given.
Yeah,
and no, one thing.
That's the basis of your belief is democracy.
No, the point which I want to make.
Democracy with violence.
We are not doing any form of violence.
Course,
who did the violence?
It is vandalism.
No, definitely not at all. Definitely
where for the longest time.
Not at all.
Clashes with the police, which have also taken place.
No, there was only one demand of the students, that let the vice chancellor meet us. And why the vice chancellor has passed this agenda even without having a discussion with the students.
Before I come down to opinion, let us have certain facts very clear. On 8th October, the proposal was uploaded on the website, and the opinion of the students were asked for. Please give proposals and suggestions, and the 10 days time period was given, which was extended further 10 days, 20 days. None of the proposals came, nor these people came to talk. Very clearly, it is all on the websites. All notices have been issued to them. They never wanted to talk to anybody. What they wanted is to, on 28th, they ransacked the administrative building in violation of the Delhi High Court order of 6th of August 2017, which says you cannot go till 100 meters of that building and have protests. You can have it outside. They completely vandalized it. They wanted and shouted VC should come out to the group, to the mob, and talk to them there. That is not the way you work. You send your representatives, the hostel presidents, to talk to them. None of them came forward. To say that the university never wanted to talk to them, no, they never wanted to talk to them, the students, and created a political ruckus. It's about ideology. It has nothing to do with fee hike out there.
The ideology, you're suggesting their ideology
leftist ideology has taken
violence.
over. Yes,
but what is wrong with leftist or rightist? I mean, this is an issue on.
Not
I don't think any ideology should be promoting violence.
See, you did not hear my sentence. It is no more about fee hike. It has been hijacked by other issues.
This is a political battle taking
place.
One moment, I've got Danish Ali. Sir, one second.
Sir, I want to respond to
you. Will respond. I've got Danish Ali as well. Baksat, the point mentioned by Deshratan Nigam is that this is now a political battle. Violence is being justified by these students, and he cited a lot of examples. You raised this issue in Parliament today. What justifies these students and the violence which we have seen? What justifies it?
Vishnu, according to Mr. Deshratan Nigam's ideology, from the day one, they are thinking that JNU is a political battlefield for them. And why every time the government is so interested in not settling the issues in JNU. It's a students' genuine demand to roll back the fee hike of the hostels. What's wrong in that? JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University has produced many luminaries. I hope that even if the students who has been injured today in the police lathi charge, one or more of them will become Nobel laureate like Abhijit Banerjee. And it's very unfortunate the JNU alumni is sitting in the cabinet holding important portfolios and they are not coming out. What see, that is fact. They want to create a situation where they can justify the police action and the violence by the
Okay.
that is the whole
Geeta Bhatt, would you like to respond to that? Geeta wants to respond. I'll come to you
I
after
just
that.
want
Yeah.
to add over here is that, you know, for 40 years, there has been no hike in and the education is subsidized in JNU and in a lot of other state universities also. But is your living in the campus, does that need to be subsidized by the government? And if you just draw a comparative chart, we are sitting in Delhi, there are 4 or 5 very big universities, there, you know, hostel charges, fee charges, everything is on the website. It is very transparent. Just draw a comparative table and just see, even today after the so-called hike, the JNU hostel fees is just 1/10 of what other state universities. I think tomorrow it may happen that the students of other universities might question the government.
Just
That why
respond
is
to
it
that
that for
point.
years together
That-
a particular
You
university
can
has
do-
been
you-
given
you
such
can
kind of
dole out
privileges,
the
while
lands
other
of
students have not been
thousands
given
of
this.
crores
See,
to
first
your
of all, I want to
corporate
respond
friends.
to the point of
The thousands and crores.
Danish
Sir,
bhai,
please let us
Danish
finish
bhai,
the point.
let Ejaz, he's
Please
a
don't
student,
show
let
this
him finish.
intolerance over here.
First of all,
Danish bhai, one moment. Ejaz, go ahead. Yeah.
See, first
I'll
of
come
all,
to you, Danish
see,
bhai, in a moment.
See,
Yeah.
first of all, this is completely lie that Vice Chancellor said that we want meeting with the students
No,
and
but
all
why
that.
don't you answer that
No,
specific
no,
point?
I will
that
respond.
the charges that you
respond.
have are a fraction of the charges which any other college across the
State
country,
university.
state university charges.
See, JNU is a public university, and in JNU clearly we are fighting for the idea of the sustenance of the public university. Second thing
No,
is
but
that
she's talking about public universities
second thing
only.
is no. Second thing is that in JNU, if I was having a single seater, then I used to have a room rent of 10 rupees. Now that 10 rupees increased to 300 rupees. So what kind of fee hike is this?
Right, but they brought it down by 50% for those who can't afford it.
No, sir. If
Vishnu, 80% of the students
sir.
have scholarships.
No,
there.
sir. No,
Minimum
sir.
of 3,000
no, sir.
rupees.
If you will go by the data, 40% of the students in JNU are having a kind of 12,000 income monthly. And if this draconian IHA manual is being implemented in JNU, then there will be a massive dropout in JNU, because most of the students in JNU are coming from marginalized and poor backgrounds. And this is the kind of idea, this is the kind of battle that we are taking. And
Aren't there
this battle is not
subsequent
restricted to the JNU
proposals which
only.
have also been made for those who are marginalized with
Yes.
with scholarships over and above the 50% reduction in fees? Because this is
not
one
at
of
all,
the proposals.
not because in JNU there is a kind of one kind of scholarship, merit cum minus scholarship. That merit cum minus scholarship is settled 2,000 rupees from last 20 years. Why the Vice Chancellor is not also increasing the merit cum minus scholarship?
Varies
Why he is not making it to
Okay,
4,000?
one second.
Let
Yeah.
me answer. The scholarship out there varies from 2,000 rupees, and there is a non-net scholarship of 5,000 and 8,000 rupees, and JRF scholarship that covers 80% of the students out there. That is not being told. Now, I have not been answered yet as to why they did not make any suggestions when the 20 days time period was given, when they wanted to talk. Nothing, online suggestions were asked for. Nobody even, it's a matter
he
of
has a
record.
response to that.
As a matter
I
of
have a
record.
response. I
In
have a
fact,
response.
they wanted to talk to the hostel presidents.
So he has a response to
No.
that. That's
Hostel
a
presidents,
point you
yes,
mentioned.
yes. Hostel presidents were called for the meeting. Hostel presidents went for the meeting, but there the
Refused
warden
to
is
go,
no.
refused to go.
Hostel presidents went for the meeting, but there consistently it was the demand of the hostel presidents as well as the entire student community of the JNU that there should be a complete rollback of this IHA manual, which was not accepted by the wardens as well as by the Vice Chancellor. And
Vishnu, let me expose this. Before talking, they wanted the rollback. No suggestions, nothing. You first roll back and then we'll talk. This is not how it works. An excellent university has been held hostage by a political ideology which is creating
Danish bhai,
a violence.
I want to respond.
I just want to add,
on this political ideology,
Geeta, just one second. I want to.
Political ideology, I want to
has been waiting. You will get one more chance to respond. The point that's been mentioned over and over again, that this is an ideology which is coming in the way. That this is an ideological battle. It's not a battle about fees. That's just an excuse. That's the point that Deshratan Nigam mentions over and over. Danish bhai, how would you respond to that?
See, it's for them it's a political battle. For Mr. Deshratan Nigam and for his party, it's a political battle. But for people like us, it is a genuine demand of the students who comes to study in JNU from a marginalized class. From JNU is the only space of the higher education from where Dalits and OBCs and from very marginal class.
I come from Delhi University. And students from these sections come to Delhi University as well, Mr. Danish Ali. Don't make that other university. Don't take SC students and OBCs. Don't make that kind of an artificial distinction and a false narrative on the national channel.
Why you are so disturbed from JNU?
Nobody is disturbed. A very highly acclaimed and excellent university
you are
defamed by the ideology which is creating violence. Today you are outside JNU, please remember, and nobody is allowed to go to parliament. Whether it is JNU or any other political party or lawyers or anybody, nobody is allowed to go to parliament. So you have been given an equal treatment.
The Vice Chancellor is just a guardian, just like a fatherly figure.
Danish, do you intend to continue with these protests, or have we seen the end of this?
Any permission taken for these protests?
This protest will continue until and
no
unless
permission
there will
was
be a
taken
complete
from the
rollback of this
university, from
IHM
the
annual
police,
hostel.
from
And
the
second
administration.
thing
Delhi.
is,
No permission was taken, which is a norm. Even as activists, as teacher activists, when we do, we have to inform, we have to take permission. This is a norm which has to be followed. And if you look, very interestingly, if you look at the pamphlet which has come out today, everyone is talking about that this whole protest is about the fee hike. There is no mention of any fee hike on that pamphlet if you look at it.
Would you reply to that?
Not even the graffiti at
Sir, from last 30 days, in our each and every pamphlet, we are saying it directly that this movement wants the complete rollback of the IHM manual and the complete
If you want, I can show
the
it to
utility charges, the security charges, as well as the other charges. But the one thing is there, from 2016, JNU has become an experimental lab for the BJP. Each and every policy that is coming from the UGC is being blatantly implemented in JNU. Whether that is seat cut.
Okay, look. I think we need to wrap this up. I just hope that students like you don't get hit. At the same time, I hope that there are no clashes with the police. I hope that the situation gets under control. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us, but it is worrying that these students say that they're going to continue with their protests, but two very different views over here. I'm going to leave it over here.